and welcome back to another Cyber Briefing brought to you by JP the Geek, where we keep you kind of in the loop on what all is going on in the cyber world. I have a new co-host with me today, but I'll let him introduce himself here in a second. Before we get into that, we're having a Lunch and Learn next Wednesday on February the 12th. It is over Microsoft Teams because it is more than just a instant messenger like most people use it for. It does a whole lot more. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Just kind of remind everybody, come on out. You get a free lunch and get to learn some cool facts. So today we're going to talk about something. It's kind of some big news. It is... actually, I'm sorry. This is why we're live, folks. I forgot Levi was going to introduce himself, and I completely forgot. So, Levi.
My name is Levi Roberts. I'm the Director of Systems and Security here at JP the Geek. I've been here for a couple of years, but I'm excited to be on the show.
Yeah, so that's Levi, now that y'all know that. So now we'll get into what we're talking about today. So today it is a new year and old computers. So kind of going to give you a little up-to-date on what all is going on with those kind of old devices. Before we get into the big news that we're going to talk about, we got a couple of definitions to go over. The first is being end-of-life/support. What that is it's the final stages of a product's existence in software applications. It means that the app has reached the end of its useful life. It may mean that a new version is available that supersedes the existing product.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stop working, for example, but it does mean that the manufacturer, the vendor, is no longer going to be supporting the product, so you're not going to be receiving new security updates. They're not going to be doing performance enhancements on the software anymore, so it's good to go ahead and upgrade like ASAP.
Yeah, that basically means that you need to get something new because it's not going to be useful anymore. So the other one, it's kind of a little different. It's called extended support. What that is it refers to an optional offering available to active maintenance or subscription customers for purchase, which extends the time period during which customers may request resolutions to software performance issues.
Yeah, and kind of the same thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the vendor, so when the vendor stops support for the piece of software, it can go into extended support, where for an additional cost to the vendor, they'll give you additional like security updates beyond the useful lifespan of the application, as well as performance enhancements. But again, that usually comes with some kind of additional cost.
Yeah, and like you said, basically extended support doesn't mean that it's going to be there forever. It's just getting you by until they finally pull the plug and was like, yeah, we're done supporting this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a stopgap measure.
Yeah.
You'll commonly see that in like enterprise environments and larger companies where it may be more difficult to switch.
And so with those terms being said, now we're getting into the big one that's kind of going to affect all our viewers, and that is Windows. So if you don't know, on October the 14th, Windows is going to stop support of Windows 10. So, and now it's not going to go into extended like we talked about. It's going to go into end of life, where they are going to stop supporting it. So now for those of you that are kind of getting worried, don't worry. If you can console our viewers that are on Windows 10 on what all they can do before that date to kind of not make it as big of a doomsday, so to speak.
Absolutely. You can upgrade to Windows 11 for free. Microsoft still offers that upgrade path. If for some reason your device doesn't support it, as some devices are being dropped support for Windows 11, you can purchase the extended support package from Microsoft, which will give you additional security updates for at least an additional year. In the past, Microsoft has supported their software for 3 years for a increasing yearly fee, but with Windows 10, it looks like that is probably only going to be 1 year.
Yeah, and so now obviously I made it sound like your computer's going to shut off. It will not shut off. It'll still work. It just doesn't get those security patches. And like we've talked about before on this show, that is important because that leads up to vulnerabilities, and basically those vulnerabilities won't get patched, and so they can just keep like, hey, I can just keep going in through this back door because it's never going to get fixed.
Absolutely. There's generally security patches that are pushed out weekly by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Without those there, hackers will find their way into your device. So make sure to at least upgrade to Windows 11, purchase the end of your support package, or go get a new device if you need to be able to support the new version.
Yeah. And now for our Apple users, your OS is Mac, and you guys are kind of a little bit different. You don't just have the one like Windows does. You have kind of a bunch. So Sequoia, that's kind of the Windows 11 version of Mac. And then Ventura and Sonoma, those are the ones that are, still in that extended support. Like Windows 10, it works. But here soon, once they come out with the new one, that's kind of going to be going by the wayside. And then Monterey and older, those are the ones that if you have those, we highly, highly suggest that you get off of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Some older devices might not support the newest version of macOS or even the security updates, so make sure to keep an eye on that. Make sure to hop into your settings, check for updates on your Mac device. You can do a quick Google search and look around Apple forums and see if your device is still currently supported. Intel-based MacBooks, this is going to be more of a concern. All of your M-series MacBooks are still currently supported.
Yeah, and just another thing with that kind of ties into the title of this, New Year, Old Computer, like Levi was saying. Some of those don't support upgrading to Windows 11 or the newest version of Mac OS. And so for those, unfortunately, you will have to get a new computer. I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, you have to buy a new computer, but now you have that upgraded RAM that we talked about yesterday, more storage, because it's set to perform better and it not have all those 8,000 updates from when it was first made in 2001.
Absolutely, and there's going to be continuous security improvement on devices as they come out. These older devices, again, just don't have the technology to be able to support these new versions of the operating systems.
Yeah, so, but that's kind of all that we had. Just a reminder that, again, on October, I have October on the brain because of Windows. It is February the 12th. So next Wednesday, February the 12th, we do have our thing on Microsoft Teams. And can you kind of give a little bit of a glimpse into what all they could learn as far as Microsoft or Teams not being an instant messenger?
Yeah, absolutely. Teams can go far beyond just a basic instant messenger for businesses with Copilot integration, being able to share files back and forth, and all kinds of other applets.
Yeah. So, again, that's February the 12th. And then before we sign off, do you have anything else that you want to tell our viewers?
That should be everything. Just make sure to keep your device updated and purchase a new one if you need to. Keep an eye on these end-of-life dates for these operating systems.
Yeah. If you have any questions as far as what we've gone over today or any other types of questions, please feel free to email us, give us a call. We'd love to kind of, like Levi was hitting on, steering you into hey, you might need a new device. We can give you tips on, I would get this device for what you need, and that way you're not paying for a $2,000 computer when all you need is your emails. So, again, send us an email, give us a phone call, and we'd just love to chat with you. So, without that, everybody have a great week, and also a reminder that next week is Valentine's Day, so make sure you get your chocolate and your roses because it is on a Friday, and if you forget, then you're probably going to have a super long weekend. So, that's my friendly reminder, folks. We'll see y'all next week.